ready to get started. All right. Could you please all allow me to give at least 4 more minutes for others to all come and join us? Let us give them at least 4 more minutes, because I think we are not all here as yet. So let us just give them at least 4 minutes. While you're still joining, please switch on your cams. We are going to see each other for the last time. Hopefully not for the last time, but can we all just switch on our cams so that we can also see if we actually put on the attire that was stipulated before. I don't see anybody holding like a cup of tea or something, juice. Where's the tea, guys? Where's the tea? Where's the juice? Something from your own tribe, something from your culture. Where is it? All right, before we get started, can just anybody tell me how they're feeling about today? Just so that we can give others some time to come join us. Please tell me how you're feeling. Are you as excited as I am about today? Can anybody just tell me, please, how are you feeling today?
Yeah, hello everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, actually, I think today is one of the amazing days because the feeling is different. You know, it's not like how we started it. You know, coming to an end after all these weeks that we've been meeting. You know, it's really amazing. The feeling is really intense, and it's really good that we all come along together and we are all finishing all together. It's really amazing. There's really typical feelings inside us, and I'm sure that's the same thing everybody has. And I'm really grateful for today, and I can't wait how the thing is going to end, how the program is going to end. So I'm looking forward how this amazing forum is going to end.
Okay, I think I'm sorry guys about that. I think my network is just acting up. I hope it doesn't do that for the rest of the day, because today is no time for me to be having a fight with my network. So anybody else want to say something about today, how they are feeling about today? Because it's a very special day, right? It is a very special day for all of us. It's Luna, want to say something, please? All right, I think we can get started. Once again, greetings, everybody. My name is Dintle Fosa. I am from the Mountain Kingdom of Lesotho, the Please, I apologize once again, guys. I'm really sorry about that. It was my network. So as I was saying, today we are going to make a celebration of our fourth cohort, and we will start off with the presentations for the 4 groups that were divided, and then we'll move on to ambassadors who will say something. But we should note that at the end of each presentation from the groups, we can add something, we can ask questions, or we can comment on what they have, their reflections and what they have said. So other than that, we'll have our ambassadors say a few words, maybe words of encouragement, anything that they would love to add on. Then we'll have our executive committee or executive team given a few words as well. Then last but not least, we'll have our director and our founder give us the final touch to everything. So I think we can start off. To make it fun, I am going to randomly pick a group. As we all know, we have 4 groups. We have 4 groups that were chosen, that were divided actually. So can we have a presenter from group 4? Can we have a presenter from group 4 to give us their reflection of how the journey of becoming the journey of being a part of African Rebirth program has been for them? And let us listen to them attentively, comment or ask any questions. So presenter from group 4, please come forth.
Hi, I'll present for group 4, but I would need our document to be shared on the screen.
When you say you want to be shared on the screen?
Yes, the document that we submit.
Oh, like you sent it, you have it on your laptop?
Yes.
You can share it. You have the freedom to share it.
Okay. Sorry, this might take a minute.
Guys, remember I did request that each one of us switches on their cam so that we can see. Please switch on your cams, everybody, so that we can go on.
Okay, so Kaurua, you can begin with question 1.
Okay, so firstly, I just want to confirm my audibility. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
All right, so I'm just going to give like a brief summarization of what is this, of the views of everyone regarding the first question. So that the first question was, what is the relevance of the training to you? And everyone gave their inputs or their views onto that. And I just like summarized them so that, so that it can be a short presentation and not that long, especially for question 1, because I think question 2 is a bit bulky, so it will require a bit more time. But nonetheless, so the first person is Zuva. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. Zuva is the person also that is a co-presenter for our group. I think she's the one that's sharing the slides. So the relevance of the program to her was that she saw the seminar as illuminating, and she was able to locate the opportunity gaps that Africa can build in order to be prosperous. And furthermore, she was, she underwent a mindset shift. That she underwent a mindset shift, and the training has allowed her to direct a laser focus on harnessing the power and potential of the continent. So that was relevance of the training program to her. And then the next person is Fatau. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your names, guys. Sorry for the pronunciation. But Fadao says the African birth training program has allowed her to be able to discover many ways in which Africa can get back in shape. And, this includes engaging in nation development by doing skillful work and being what is involved in entrepreneurship as well. And I think also what I like about her response is the fact that like she included the fitness training that you also had. I think when you go there, the last sentence she says that as well. The program was able to give her tips from doctors on how we can maintain healthy lifestyles in our journey as African leaders. So I feel like sometimes as leaders we neglect our health because we want to get so many things done. We want to get there's so many deadlines to meet, and I like the fact that like she was able to take that away from the program and like also share the same sentiments. And then the next one is Peter Lawrence. And he says the education and the training has provided him with the ability to recognize commercial opportunities, self-esteem, knowledge, and skills to act on them, especially for the African continent. And it also included instruction in opportunity recognition, commercializing a concept, managing resources, and limiting a business venture that will change him and his community as well. Zuba, if we can just scroll down to the next part, to the next speakers. Not speakers, but like participants as well. And then Abel says that the training has been relevant because it has helped him gain an insight about the challenges that Africans youth face on a day-to-day basis, and also the fact that like the challenges or the problems that Africans face are common. We face common problems throughout the continent, and he has pointed it out there. Some of the problems are unemployment, corruption, political instabilities, and lack of access to various services as well. And also the program has helped him to solve some of these issues and to have an understanding that despite of the aforementioned challenges, the African youth are looking for different opportunities, such as the African rebirth, and are capable of taking the continent further as well. And I like the fact that, like he says, the problems that we share as young people, particularly in the African regions, they are not exclusive to our specific countries, but these are common challenges and problems that we all face. And as such, we need to unite in order to be able to effectively solve these problems and ensure the prosperity of the continent. And then the next person that shared their views were, this name is a bit challenging. I apologize one more time for mispronouncing your names, but it's Carol Mama. And she was inspired and empowered through the session and that she had with the African Rebirth, and it was a relevant cohort to her as she has always been interested in studies which would be about youth empowerment, leadership skills development, and peace building strategies as the elements of a prospering and a united country and or continent as well. And then Helena says the training has given her insight on how to increase participation, engagement, and active in the overall development of her country in particular and in Africa in general. It has also given her insight on business innovation and strategic branding as well. I think from here I can also say from the different experience one has had, you can see that there are different aspects that everyone is focusing on. Some people focus on leadership, others on businesses, like Helena here, who says she has gotten business innovation and strategic branding from the training as well, and relevant to her in that particular aspect. So then we move on to the next individual who is Feliciwa, who is a life mentor, and it brought lots of skills and leadership diplomacy, and she's inspired and empowered on how to bring peace, unity, and prosperity in her community. And on business innovation, she has learned about personal development, and it brought hope to her as she gave up on her business because of a lack of skills. And after attending the program, she has gained some skills that has allowed her to go back to her business ideas and to try and transform her mindset and start fresh again. And hopefully she's able to invigorate with the business idea that she once left due to lack of skills. And then the next participant, it's me, Korade, and I think what I've gotten from the training has, the training has been relevant. It allowed me to be able to see leadership in ways that I've never thought about it before. It made me realize that leadership is beyond delegating tasks, people accountable when they don't do that task. But leadership is more than that. It's about reigniting ideas in people, reigniting the passion that individuals or people once had in genuinely serving their communities and allowing them to become the best versions of themselves. It also allowed me to be able to see that Africa, and be able to see that young people have an active role to play, particularly in peace building as well and in peacekeeping, by deconstructing some of the negative stereotypes that we have established about each other and about different people and different tribes within a particular area or a community. And then the next individual was Kelvin, whose passion for Africa's development is one which could be facilitated by leadership, and is a driving force to his decision to participate in the African Rebirth program. As such, his vision and leadership overlapped with that of the program, and the weekly webinars have given him a first-hand view of how leadership in Africa looks like, and particularly for young leaders as well. And it's put simply that the idea of experience is the best teacher, and has been evidence given the wealth of resource personnel who graced the webinars, right? He has been privileged to understand the difference between theoretical positions and the fact of life as regards leadership in Africa, and how much work needs to be done by young leaders to improve their entrails and outlook of the African leadership. So that's everyone's that's the relevance of the program to everyone and to the different people that were part of their group. And I see, and different responses that you can see there, everyone had something different to take from the program, and something that they can be able to go back and implement into their communities and into their countries as well. So I think that's it. The next question, Suva would present onto that. But if anyone has any questions, you can please go ahead and ask.
I don't think we'll have time for questions given how long our document is. So the next question is, what policy recommendations can we suggest to our home countries to adopt? So I gave this policy recommendation that essentially entrepreneurship builds wealth. However, given the unequal distribution of resources and the immense wealth gaps between Zimbabweans, prematurely encouraging entrepreneurship will increase this imbalance of wealth. Only those already with access to resources will benefit from this immediate shift towards entrepreneurship. Thus, it's imperative that the government, along with the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, begin by formulating policies that will create an equal distribution of resources to Zimbabweans, and resources referring specifically to access to bank accounts, funding, and access to land and education. So when an equal distribution of resources has been realized, then entrepreneurship will flourish. And then from Fatu, she said that the policy recommendations she will suggest in her home country would be to support young leaders in accelerating Africa's property, as well as implementing progressive laws in security, in women's security of land, rights, and accelerating Africa's transformation. From Peter Lawrence, we have that programs and training for awareness must be encouraged so that the number of young leaders and successors of future African government increases, and every young person in the country must know the meaning of patriotism and practice it. From Abel Wilderness, we have that the policies he wants are revising the educational curriculums of their respective countries to make younger generations know about the most pressing issues of Africa and teach them the tools to solve these issues. Creating policies which encourage the active participation in African social, economic, and political matters, and give them a voice to say all their issues. From Kara Mamang, we have that she would advise her country to adopt a policy that makes a point that inequality gap between the rich and the poor must be reduced, and that training is provided for the poor and unemployed to encourage self-employment, especially to women and youth. The kinds of trainings can be about agricultural activities or encourage them to start their own micro gardens for food security purposes. Others can be about skills development, which are in most demand, such as plumbing, bricklaying, and others, which can make most people employable, and for these people who are not literate. From Helena, she said that she would engage the youth in national dialogue that prevents conflicts and builds trust within the youth and institutions. She'll build platforms for political voices and contributions, and she would create a platform for intergenerational dialogue. From Felisa, we'll have that she wants to develop young political leaders programs and build dialogue between future young leaders to develop climates of trust and confidence. From Karua, we have that there's a need to reform the currency property regimes that are in place. The property regimes currently in place are Eurocentric in nature, and they have recognize and protect individual property rights while offering less protection for community property rights. In most African countries and traditions, particularly in Namibian traditions, property is immovable or movable and is owned by community as a whole, and everyone has equal opportunity and access to this property. So in order for effective development to take place across the African continent, we need to return the communal ownership of property and recognize that communal rights must be protected. And finally, from Calvin, we have that Ghana should consider reducing the minimum age threshold for president aspiration from 40 years to 30 years old, as this would encourage young leaders with mainstream leadership rather than resorting to Karua, you can read the last question.
Okay, so for the last question, the question was, what advice can you recommend to African Rebirth to continuously increase impact? So Zua said African Rebirth needs to host summits to bring all African Rebirth members together. And Fatao says her recommendation to African Rebirth to increase impact on the continent would be to bring more of the mentorship programs to our disposal so that we can absorb more African intellect and learning many positive ways in bringing Africa in the way we envision it to be. Peter Lawrence says the training must be more than twice per year. Also, the training should focus on the purpose goal of African Rebirth. Abel says the policies he suggests for African Rebirth are: 1, engaging in awareness creation, activities on social media or other engagement methods to voice Africa's burning issues, and then incorporate in-depth exercise activities in a training session, which will be able to help the trainee get a greater understanding of African issues. And then Kiruma Mang says, I'm advising that the cohort linked to tertiary institutions, as it is very inspirational and providing with the extra knowledge that we not get during studying, that those who are interested in topics which are being covered easily access the opportunity for enrolling, that they go back to their respective homes after and apply the acquired knowledge in defense. We can move down, Zua. And then Helena says that her recommendation is that the program can also be given to high school and college students so that they can have different experience. And she also recommends that for this program to engage participants by giving at least one group work to increase networking and collaboration. The other recommendation she has is, in addition to the mentorship program, some short courses can be given in some selected areas so that many can benefit from the program. Felicia says that African Rebirth should improve the quality of life for Africa, and B should have an office from each African country and engage the young future leaders physically to continue to enlighten them with different skills of leadership, diplomacy, financial literacy in order to sustain unity, peace, and prosperity. And my suggestion was that the African Rebirth needs to host more robust, inclusive exchange programs to ensure that everyone partaking in the training gets an opportunity to practically apply what they have learned through the webinars. Kelvin says that African Rebirth could consider having student ambassadors who would promulgate the existence and ideals of the organization in the university community.
So thank you to African Rebirth for this very illuminating experience.
Thank you very much from Group 4. That was an amazing presentation. I believe we can all agree that they had some meaningful things to say, and most of them that we too will take into account and learn from them. So let us have a presentation from Group 1. I have a presenter from Group 1, a representative from Group 1, please. And for everybody else who just joined in, welcome. And please do turn on your cam so that we can all see each other as we communicate.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm doing a video from Ethiopia. I'm representing, I'm not the representative, but I'm the presenter for Group 1. So I'll be sharing my screen. So can everyone see my screen? Can you hear me?
Yes, you can
Yes,
carry
you
on.
can-
You can
see
carry
it.
on.
Thank you very much. This reflection on the key takeaway of the journey with African Rebirth of Group 1. So the Group 1 is composed of Botswana. So
I don't know if I'm the only one person who can hear Luna properly. Luna, I think there's something wrong with your network because you kind of glitching. Can you start all over? Am I the only one with a problem?
No,
Yes, I agree.
we're
True,
experiencing.
it is breaking. I can hear her as well.
All right, when Luna is trying to work on her network, can anybody from Group 1 take over? Seems like she has a network problem. Can anyone please take over from Group 1?
So maybe what about now? Maybe I turn my video off.
All right, I think you're clear when you've turned off your video. You can go on.
Okay. Okay, so this is the Group 1 composed of Botswana, Ethiopia, Ghana, Namibia, and Zambia. So the first question is, what was the relevance of this training to you? So the first relevance was we pull out the training provided a perfect opportunity for us to network with each African from different countries of different professions. So this further goes to learn from one participant to what challenge in their country they were facing and they were experiencing, and also how best they can think the problems can be solved. Integration strategies and how best this can be implemented, and also how people from other African states are best tackle Pan-Africanism and issues surrounding lack of youth engagement in political process. So this is another relevance that we take away from the Africa Rebirth sessions. So African Rebirth creates a room for us to socialize with one another by meeting every week, discussing on different topics, different issues, by bringing different African leaders, business leaders, and sharing different experiences, having a platform to exchange ideas and culture. So it also gives leaders, so enhanced us enhanced the unity and cross-border ideas. So our team also think African Rebirth program as a means to understand how to inspire and empower young African leaders who seek peace and unity as well as prosperity. So this training for all of us met our expectation, as we have found a way to contribute to the idea of teamwork and understanding different cultures of African young leaders, and it has shaped our different ways. So learn so any instead of avoiding it. When we go to the second question, is what the our policy recommendation for our respective countries. So we compiled the recommendations through countries. So for Ethiopia, we are recommended the government should invest on the youth in multitude areas. So such as by employment, resource allocation, training and education also. So we need policies on those areas. We also suggest the government to provide a policy measure for youth to have access to starting capital, so that go on to invest in new and meaningful things that could a revolution. And also, so on this one, we believe innovation is a key to address the economic challenges we are facing as a country. So the youth are still waiting for the employment opportunities which the government can't really provide right now. So what we thought is the government can do or enable the youth to innovate by providing maybe certain capital or things like that. So currently we don't have such policies to favor the youth to enable that. So, and the other one is a policy enabling a younger generation to acquire innovative ideas, professional competence, and also good ethical backgrounds, because good ethical background, we believe, is a basic for a country, other countries, maybe it's not for Ethiopia, for the development and building a democratic in one country. So we want the policies around that corner as well. So when you come to Zambia, for the Zambia, we want the government to abolish or reduce the work experience for their during election. Recommend the government to increase investment in equality for students to public management. Quality management and so on. So we recommend the use inclusion or so this will allow to setting an instance. So however, be done pushed in other organization that allow the use to the political space. And also we say the government has to empower and equip youth with the necessary skills and knowledge to allow for youth engagement in designing, implementation, monitoring and learning, and other strategies and programs that are taking place in the country. So when you come to Ghana, for Ghana, we said we should reduce the minimum age threshold for a presidential aspiration. So the threshold should be reduced from 40 to 30. This would enable young leaders with building ideas and give them mainstream leadership. So yeah, so another one is there should be laws to check the monetization of the election in Ghana. So a recent study, presidential aspiration belongs to any leading political party based in general, like 100 million, maybe the Ghanaians can correct me. So this emphasized the need to check the monetization of election, as the young leaders will not most likely be able to complete such a system since they don't have the needed financial withdrawals. So putting in place such a strange measure to significantly reduce the monetization of election would have a more political friendly climate for young leaders. So we recommend this law kind of be amended. So when you come to Namibia, the Namibians say the Namibians and Africans need to be united. So we all agree, we all Africans should be united for the growth of Africa and to shine our Africa. And also the other one is empower the youth, the young people with opportunities, because these are the future of tomorrow. So we need to connect as a young people and network in a better life, bettering the life and living standard in Namibia. So we, so it was said that the future is, yeah, as it is said, the future is created by solving today's problem. So these are our policy recommendation for different countries. To the third question, what policy advice you recommend to Africa Rivers to continuously increase impact in Africa? So Africa Rivers, we think, should push on policies that bring Africans together. So we should start trading with each other and have a common currency, to promote the trade, to promote the economic reliance on one another instead of relying on other Western countries in Western world. So Africa Rivers should push on this aspect, as the outcome should be magnificent. And also we thought what African Rivers can do is develop modules during the training period and establish a physical rivers chapter in various countries. So we wonder to see different mini offices or chapters that Africa have in different countries. And also African Rivers continues to create a platform for youth engagement, facilitate their network for partners, and encourage them to pursue their respective actions. So this will increase the positive impact on the continent. We also suggest Africa Rivers to have a session, at least 2 sessions per year. So one on the social science, on the broader aspect, and the other one is different, maybe on different researches. So just like our the fourth group mentioned, so we also have a kind of 2-time sessions per year for all our rivers leaders, so to connect, discuss and share experiences. So the other one is so the other one is rotation. Yeah, the other is, so there are so many youth in those areas so that African rivers can build their capacities. And the art of networking. So we want to see African rivers continue to enhance the art of networking among young leaders of Africans and connect cross-border, just continue what African Rivers is doing, continue the transformation of African leaders. That's what we recommend African Rivers to do. or want to see in the future. So this is all we have. And if any question, the floor is yours. My team is ready for any question.
All right, thank you very much, Group 1. That was an amazing
So
presentation.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Let us move on, guys. I believe all the policy recommendations that they've made and categorized with different countries could actually apply to more other countries that were not mentioned there. And we could actually take note and try and discuss them in our own countries, try and push them through and have them implemented in different other African countries, because we are facing almost common issues as the African continent at large. So moving forward, let us have Group 3. Let us have a representative from Group 3, please, to give us their reflections and take it from there. Thank you.
Hi, how are you? Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You can me.
Fabulous. Okay. So my name is Mponya Mate. I'm South African and I'm in Group 3. I will be presenting on behalf of Group 3. All right, just as a young opening, so the training and the mentorship that we've experienced has been such a delightful experience, and it has really resulted in empowered, inspired, educated, and happily enthusiastic youth that's just ready to take up space and to make the ground shake, you know. And, you know, we know with African Rebirth that, you know, one of the main aims is to defy mediocrity and to inspire and empower young leaders, you know, who seek peace, unity, and prosperity. And I believe that we are all the product of that. We are the product of all of those teachings. And we took a very structured approach over these last few weeks, organizing seminars with a range of amazing, well-educated, inspiring people, from parliamentary officials to founders of peace-building organizations, sustainability ambassadors, founders of digital solutions, you know, and we've also had your exchanges, you know, where we build networks, where we have this cultural difference, and where we are prepared ultimately for the international setting of diplomacy, and where we have a tolerance for difference and acceptance for one another. And in so doing, you know, we're just one step closer to building the Africa that we want. So as a reflection of our experience, there's a lot that, you know, we've all said and all want to say about the program, but for the most part, what we have gathered is that it has been it has brought key lessons for young leaders, especially when we are considering this thing of the diffusion of responsibility, you know, teaching us as the youth to take back the responsibility to make and materialize these changes that we so deeply want for our country and for our continent. And it has expanded our networks in such a beautiful way. Most importantly, this program, as well as our experiences of the program, has really taught us about Africa and valuing diversity and valuing the power of unity and being united, you know, and that is so important for the international setting, but also for the regional setting, for regional integration, you know, for diplomacy. And I think also what we've gathered about Africa is so important, because you cannot transform or change what you do not know. So that's why African Rebirth has really, really done a good job in like teaching us about the backgrounds and the cultural exchanges, you know, so you get to have a first experience of, you know, diversity and the kinds of people you're going to interact with in a greater scale, right? And then it has also taught us to be change makers in our respective nations, mitigating against, you know, our socioeconomic issues. And it has also produced a set of enthusiastic and optimistic young leaders, you know, as we all now have the confidence and the means to take up space, you know, in our various countries and regions, right? And then on to the next section, the policy recommendations for our home countries in support of young leaders accelerating Africa's prosperity. So one of the suggestions is policies that ensure that the voices of the youth are present in policy. So this essentially calls for youth involvement in contemporary issues. I think this one is particularly important because we are bringing about innovative solutions that are aligned with African realities. You know, we are taking what we have learned here at African Rebirth and taking it to the nation, to our countries, to our continent, to, you know, the broader scale of things, you know. Also, there was a suggestion for real cooperation between civil organizations and governments, thereby forming a joint committee. And in so doing, this bridges the gap between government policy and society. There is a big gap there, right? Then another suggestion was a creative opportunities for entrepreneurs and more opportunities for the youth to engage in political issues, right? And then the next lovely enlightening suggestion is, you know, education. You know, we all know that education is so important and it is key to the development of Africa and to African prosperity, you know. So the suggestion really calls for the government to prioritize free and equal education and to also facilitate and gather resources that will ensure better access to information and knowledge. And in so doing, that is one of the key ways that we can transform Africa for the better. And with this suggestion comes this hope that inclusivity and youth participation is a fundamental norm in different countries and different regions, right? Okay, and then on to the next section, the policy recommendations for African Rebirth to continuously increase and their impact in Africa, right? So one of our key suggestions here is that we need African Rebirth needs to consider strategies that will increase their reach to the youth, especially those that have been marginalized, right? And this the suggestion entails having greater social networks, engaging in media, collaborations with various stakeholders, and reaching out to various youth groups and non-governmental organizations, right? And then also creating and sharing an educational content regarding the role of impactful NGOs and civil society to encourage young people to create models and have a tangible impact on their societies, right? Another key suggestion was to have in-person programs for those who do not necessarily have access to the internet, as that is a fundamental issue or struggle with regards to, you know, the African realities that we face. You know, not everyone has, you know, that access to you know, internet and to Wi-Fi or to even smartphones, right? And then next, and another suggestion that we had in our group is that we need a tool that will monitor the impact, the tangible impact of the mentorship program. So this would be like a survey, maybe released before and after the program, you know. I think this will also determine how the seeds that have been planted over these last few weeks have actually grown. You know, how have we taken what we have learned and taken it to a higher level? How have we materialized these ideas, these thoughts, these conversations that we've been having, right? And then also, with that suggestion, there's also African Rebirth having alliances with African states to facilitate youth involvement in parliament, right? And as a result, we incorporate what we've learned in African Rebirth to contribute to the betterment of society and state development. And we also need a platform for people in the same country to meet and discuss with various African ambassadors, and also have a bigger scope on the kinds of problems that we face. As much as there's similar problems that we face, you find that sometimes different problems that we face based on where we are in the region and so on, right? And then another key suggestion that we had is that African Rebirth needs youth branches in every country to mobilize upcoming events and initiative. And I think this is particularly linked to just making it a bit more connected and, having face-to-face relations. But one of my other favorite suggestions that we made as a group is that increasing the number of youth participation, who participate in the program. As much as there's already a lot of us, I feel like with more people, there's more cultural diversity, there's more ideas, and there's a more platform for change, more platform for for voices, and so yeah. And then another key suggestion was that African Rebirth implementing itself to reach the youth in university through university societies. I think this is very important because, in university societies, people can really, really grow their interests and harness their passions for certain things. And I feel like if African Rebirth had their own societies in various universities, you also have more people knowing about the program and more like-minded people who want to change, the society for better, to have that platform where they can engage with those and actually, make those changes. As university students, you find there's a lot of political political science students who want to, make certain changes, and they don't necessarily know how. So having African Rebirth in places like universities really, really helps, these students in those avenues who want to make the changes but don't know where to start, to actually put their, best foot forward and have a platform to engage with every single thing they want to do, But yeah, on an end note, African Rebirth has played such an important role, right, in the social, economic, political empowerment of Africa and its youth. And essentially, we just end off with saying that Africa has such a bright future because we have so many vibrant, passionate set of people, a generation of youth that is, hungry and inspired for change. This is literally all of you guys, and you guys all advocate for a good future for all Africans, so we are essentially grateful for the program because it has brought us like-minded people to, to defy mediocrity and to just unite the nation and to really materialize the changes that we so greatly need in our hearts and among our nations. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That was from Chrissy, and that was an amazing presentation. Thank you. Can we have a presentation from Group 2, which is obviously our last group? And I hope our ambassadors will be ready to give out something or to say something, and input of some sort, so that we can move forward. Thank you very much. Group 3. Group 2, please take your stand, and the floor is yours.
Good day, everyone. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you're audible. We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. Carry on.
Okay. We are Group 2. We plan to share the presentation. If there's no problem, I'll do one of the slides, and then my colleague will follow up. Now I'm talking about the relevance of the training to us that is in Group 2. The relevance of the training to us. As we plan to keep the presentation as fresh as a grocery store, and then as we plan to keep the presentation fresh as a grocery store, especially on top of the fly, today we are presenting on the assigned topic to be discussed. As we say, we go in. Your network, it's your network. And here at Africa Rebirth, we are delighted to be in the program and allowed to meet new people in policy making, policymakers and in the continent. Sorry, policymakers in the continent. We thank Africa River once again for able to meet the share experience with influential people who will ever be the thoughts of meeting the diplomats, who will ever take the thoughts of meeting diplomats in Zoom, if not the help of African River. We have come across the likes of Honorable Owen Dominica, one of the policymakers in the Republic of Malawi, and a renowned CEO of and founder of Bigger Africa Group. This is Anna Bumba, that's data, whose resume was rich, really, bring it out. Those people, meeting them in Africa River, it broadens the mind of us. That is, we, the students, we the cohort. And then we were delighted to talk to them and ask some question about their experience in leadership and leading. And it's funny, right? When we meet them, sometimes you have to go through some process. But with the help of Africa Rebirth, we skip all the process again. I must acknowledge the fact that Africa Rebirth was able to bring aspiring leaders together. And then mostly, could say the term, always use the term, when leaders meet, inclusive development and humanity is safe. Meeting the valid in every aspect of our decision making process. Meetings is valid. Meetings are valid in every aspect of decision making policies. Because without meeting and then exchanging, basically there's nothing to share about. So we at Group 2 here, we are all honored because I'm taking it from each and everybody's each and everybody's slides that they sent for us to compile. We all talked about the meeting, the experience, and then the coming together that we all did, and then meeting like-minded people like us. We were honored to be part of the cohort, all of us, and the network and networking with like-minded individuals ready to take up a mantle of leadership to be led by the right person. And unity is key, especially in Africa. If we are united, with hard work and dedication, we are set for a unified Africa. As your vision says, a prosperous and a unified Africa is the key. And looking at the relevancy of the program or the 3 months, we wanted it longer enough. That is, if it could happen, because it was so relevant, so entertaining, especially the fun part of it. But in concluding, we just want to say that, in concluding my own slide, I only want to say that the best part of it all is meeting new people, meeting all of us together as unity. I believe all of us unified. I believe we can actually change Africa, as your vision stated. I think it says everything that the vision of Africa Rebirth, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so I'll just hand over the presenting to my group leader to take it from there.
All right, thank you, Mr. Stule, for the brief presentation. Later, please, I'm going to share my screen if you will not mind. Just give me some minutes, please. Are you guys hearing me? Just give me some minutes. I'll make my slide available right now. Oh, then. Oh.
Why not just leave it that way and then you'll go and start?
If you're still struggling with sharing the screen, I think you can try and read it for us and just present to us if it's a struggle, because we don't have that much time. So please carry on. If there's a struggle with sharing, please just present to us.
Okay, I think I will. Let me try once more and see if it works. Oh, it's still empty. Sorry, by the way. Oh. All right. I'm going to read the work. I'm going to read the work from the phone. Okay, like my name is Peter. My name is Peter Chol. I'm a South Sudanese. I'm a group 2 leader, and here I'm going to handle the question 2, which says, what policy recommendation can you suggest to your home countries to adopt in support of young leaders accelerating African property? Actually, yeah, we combined all our points, because like when we look at bringing them from country to country, you know, we got to know that most of the points they are related. So we just came up and put them together to present them in the whole of Africa, like in their manner. So one of the points is that the development of the youth policies to incorporate entrepreneurship and leadership as policy key strategic areas. We all know that, you know, the development of any country or any continent depends on the leadership and the entrepreneurship capacity of the state. So building the entrepreneurship capacity and the leadership can actually make Africa prosper, or any of the countries in Africa. Number 2, there's also exchange program. Exchange program should be strengthened and allowed for learning opportunities so as to achieve diverse development, advancement of skills, and exchange of the skills. Like if we try to interact through exchanging programs from country to country, like how the Africa Base is doing, bringing people from different countries within Africa and come and share their opinion and their ideas on how to develop Africa, we see that there can be a kind of a development of the schools, advanced skills from different people. Other people can learn from the skills of others. You know, this can actually bring development within Africa as well. And then another point is arrangement of conferences and workshops for young people to discuss about peace building and reconciliation, and to advocate for freedom, fairness, equality, truth, and justice to prevail within Africa. You know, like bringing up all these kind of conferences within Africa, within any of the countries within Africa, to make people come together and discuss about how to advocate for peace buildings, like you know, advocating for truth and justice within Africa, because we know what Africa is actually going through. So if we be able to have this kind of workshops and this kind of conferences, it can help us actually achieve gender equality and the justice within Africa. So this is one of the things that we recommend as a group 2. Another one is putting so much effort on filling the gaps between policy making and implementation. We have seen that Africa has been a victim in policy making and implementation. There's actually a quite big gap within. So we see is that if we are to speed up in the policies, the way to make policies, and the way is also to implement them, like speeding up the process, we see that there could be a kind of development that would actually come within Africa. Another point is adopting intergenerational co-leadership approaches across governance structures. For instance, okay, like, you know, like bringing up different kind of people to govern institutions, like let's talk about executive institution or legislative institution, meaning that putting all the youth or the young people in this kind of institution, and also the old people, like intergenerational, bringing up people from different generations to be part of this kind of institution. That actually they can help, like, you know, in strengthening or in bringing different skills into the table, because there can be kind of opinion from a different generation or different age group, and this can actually stimulate a kind of development within Africa. Because like you see right now, most of African countries are victim of this. You see, like the most of these big positions are occupied by the old people, and the young people are not giving space, like spaces to give out their opinion. So if there's a way we can have this kind of intergenerational governance structure, you know, it can bring different opinion from both the young people and also the old people. And this can actually stimulate development within Africa as well. A building of platform for youth political voices and contribution. We have seen that in most of African countries, like young people are not given chance to speak their opinions or to express their opinion politically. Many people are being intimidated and threatened. And this can actually, if we form this kind of political platform where we can give our opinions, our voices, it can help stimulate the development within Africa. Because you can see, like, for example, you see countries like Uganda, countries like South Sudan, I would say countries like Central African Republic and Congo, you see that young people are not given chances to express their opinion. Because once you speak out your opinion, what do you think about something? What do you think about any political paradigm? You would be threatened or you would be killed. So building this kind of platform where young people will have chance to speak out their opinions, it can help, bring development within Africa as well. Strengthening of a national youth councils and parliament, or creating such institution where they aren't yet done, so as to ensure unity and cooperation of youth idealistically within the continent. Like you see, there's some, I know in most of the countries, there is a national union, how do you call it, national youth union in most of the African countries. So if we bring up this kind of policies within our continent, you see, there can be our young people will come up in this platform and try to share ideas, whether political idea or social, or social ideas or economic ideas, and these ideas can actually help us in developing our continent as well. Another point is utilizing our resources and talents within our continent. For instance, avoiding brainstorming activities within, brain draining activities within the continent. You see, most of our African young people, they are gifted naturally. You see, we have very important and gifted doctors, we have engineers, we have politicians, and most of the time, these young people fall a victim of brain draining ideas. What I mean by brain draining idea is like taking out our own resources as African to different continents to make sure that these people go and use their gift in other part of the world. This African has been actually a victim of this kind of thing. So we, Group 2, come up with, we recommended that if we utilize this kind of resources within our continent, if we utilize the use of our doctors, engineers, and our politicians within Africa, it can actually stimulate development within Africa as well. Launching of business management seminars as entrepreneurship is the backbone of any country to prosper economically. So I actually talk about that one before. Entrepreneurship, we all know that in any country to evolve, young people must take part in entrepreneurship, making sure that they bring out, they create some small businesses within the country or within their society in relation to solving some problem or some of the issues within their communities or their country. The last point, teaching our own history in most interesting and empowering manner at our universities, high school, and organizations such as Africa Rebirth. You see, one of the core points is that most of the young people, especially those at the high school, secondary school, if you ask most of people actually don't have idea about the African history, what African are good at, and what Africa is all about, the origin of Africa. Briefly, like it's only East Africa where there is a chance where how do you call it, history is actually taught in high school. But at the university, you see these kind of things, like there are no seminars of this kind of manners. And we recommend it, like we should have this kind of teaching in our high schools, in our also at our universities, and also organization, to make sure that we empower our young people through history, giving them the knowledge what we earn, our origin, how African actually came out through the colonization, and the rest of the things, rest of the history that Africa went through. This can actually help us in developing Africa as well. One of the things that I can also recommend is like, it's actually very important, because in Kenya right now, you see in Kenya Parliament, people use Swahili as the language for debating in the Parliament. And this is one of the very important steps that I've seen in Africa. So it's really very good if we can also have some of other countries that have their native language and use such languages in debating or doing another kind of things within, it's a part of history. Because when you teach people the language or their language, you try to empower them, you try to give them the identity. But if we keep copying from the rest of the languages, you know, we may not know our identity or the best of us. I think this is number 2. The person sharing, please, let's go to number 3, the last one. Dr. April, can you please go to okay, and then let me continue from here. What policy advice can you recommend to Africa Rebirth to continuously increase impacts in Africa? One of the things is that challenging the youth in taking immediate actions in changing their society. We need to challenge our young people, you know, in taking action in changing their society. This could be through starting up small projects that are intended to solve a particular problems in the communities and make it sustainable by making frequent reports to African-based conferences. In case we have such conferences every time, make sure that we challenge ourselves, we go back to our communities, and we try to solve some of the challenges that our communities are facing. Another thing is that we have seen that, you know, the COVID-19 is actually reducing a little bit, and we group 2, we recommend that at some point, African Rebirth should have a peace conference whereby young leaders from different countries will come together and meet physically. It shouldn't always be, you know, virtually. Sometimes we come and meet physically so that we know ourselves physically. You know, we'll be sharing a lot of things when we are together, like the cultures that I've been seeing here. They are actually very intense, and they are also very excellent. So if we bring this kind of thing, we come together at some point, we meet physically as African ladies, it would actually be very good. So I recommend that, we recommend that to Africa Rebirth as well. And also organizing this kind of program every 6 months is one of the things that we recommend if it can be actually be done. Another thing is creation of Telegram channel for young people to share their success stories and expression. Shouldn't always be Zoom. Sometimes we need to have that kind of forum whereby we come and talk about our success. You know, some of us have very important stories to tell us here, but at some point we are limited by certain things, and we can learn from these stories. So we recommend that if we create such kind of channel whereby we can come and share our stories, what we have gone through. Some people have businesses that are actually operating right now. These businesses can be done in Ethiopia, can be done in South Sudan, can be done in Uganda, can be done in Zambia and Gambia as well. So that we can also learn from such channels. Conducting a research study on the different youth empowerment related topics in different parts of the continent, having a representative researcher in every region. Try to give ourselves a task. We go out and research on a certain field. We come out, we say, this is the kind of field we're going to make a research. And after making that research, we make sure that we're going to come back together and make a report to the organizing or the leadership of African Union. It can help us actually identify some of the problems that are within Africa or under the ground that some of us may not have a chance to get or to know. And another thing is the trainees should. Yeah.
Pardon, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Can we try and wrap it up? I can tell you have a lot to tell us. Can you try and wrap it up? We are against time. Thank you.
Okay. I think this is the last point here. The trainees should also be involved in so much engagement, so as the skills learned should also adhere to a great number of youth who didn't have actually opportunity to have this kind of space. Thank you. Thanks for listening to me. So this is the last part of a group 2 presentation.
All right, thank you very much, Group 2. Actually, thank you very much to all the groups for participating and for actually giving such insightful presentations and reviews. I believe it goes without saying that most of the things that were stated here can actually be implemented, like I said before. So moving forward, we will be having a word from our ambassadors, from African Rebirth ambassadors. So please come forth, any ambassador who would love to take the stand and say something to our graduate class. All right, if there is no one who is coming forth, I'll take the stands on behalf of the ambassadors, because I am an ambassador as well from Lesotho, like I mentioned earlier, that I am Dinta Fosa from Lesotho. I would like to recall one of the sessions that we had a panelist who mentioned We must go and contest for offices out there. We must not be afraid to take a stand. We must be out there. So if we are out here learning so many things, we are out here trying to figure out policies that could actually benefit African countries, then what importance is it for us to be learning all these things here and not actually go into parliament, not be part of the big conversations, not try and push our ways into the big tables and put the discussion? Because if we are here learning about all of these things and we do not want to contest or be a part or push away into the tables, big tables with the big leaders out there, and tell them what is actually wrong, then who are we giving the opportunity to change the policies in our countries, the policies that will affect Africa at large? You know, the issues of intertrade, African intertrade, are the issues that we should be able to propose in parliaments of different countries. And only we can do that because we are out here learning so many things and we are out here trying to make an important a difference for Africa. So let us all go out there in all different countries that we come from. Let us not be afraid. Let us push our way to the table, as Peter mentioned. Yes, in some countries, we are afraid of saying something as the youth because of how we get treated, others get killed because they are trying to silence us. But we as the youth should not allow them to silence us, because Africa will be doomed if we allow that to happen. If we want the youth to have a word, we want them to have the voice. African Rebirth can try as much as they can to equip us with everything that we need. But we, at the end of the day, are the ones who are going to go out there and without hesitation, despite anything that comes our way, and take the stand and say, I want my country to be better. So these are policies that I would like you to implement. These are the things that I would like you to change in our countries. So like they were saying earlier from South Africa, the presentation, they said now we are learning of so many ways that we can try and interact. So let us all go through that. And whatever we have learned, we can sow, and then we can see how fruitful it has become. Thank you very much. I think now we'll have a word from our executive. Anybody from our executive, please take a stand and say something to our cohort.
Can I go next?
Yes, please.
Yes, man.
Okay, so I just want to share a word of congratulations to the cohort. So hi everyone. I'm really happy to see you guys all here. So you may know me from the communication team. This is Yasmin. So I would like to say congratulations first off. So it's really with a great pleasure to congratulate you all on finishing this 6 weeks of trainings. Your how can I say, your commitment and your dedication has been infectious to everyone. It was a good cohort. I mean, I can honestly say it was the best cohort for me, because I've been in the third cohort before, and I've seen much dedication before from the cohort before. I would like to say congratulations. It's a great achievement, and I believe your leaders can actually inspire other leaders to be like to follow your steps. I believe that you guys can take this challenge, like you can take this training as a challenge to actually deliver this training to others. And I also believe that you guys actually have the potential and the I'm sorry, can you guys hear me? I'm having a connection problem. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, very well. So I believe you leaders can inspire others to achieve greatness, as well as I was saying before. And it was really a pleasure serving you guys. And I really hope you had a good experience and stay with us for the past few weeks, because we surely did. And I hope you guys learned and grasped what you actually come to do to do when joining. I enjoyed meeting all of you. I hope you guys stay in touch afterward. And once again, Congratulations. I can now wait to see you guys training and building a prospered and united Africa in the future. Please keep in touch. African Rebirth is all about leadership, communication, as well as networking. So I believe one thing you grasp from this training, 6 weeks of training, is actually a good connection. You've actually got to meet lots of new leaders, new Africans from different countries. So it's actually a treasure. So please make sure to treasure this, since you guys will be the future leaders. Since we will be the future leaders, it's good to actually build a connection and stay connected with one another. And we would like to hear a word of feedbacks from you guys at the end of this session, this graduation party. So on how we can improve and how we can make African Rebirth better. Thank you guys so much, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you, Yasmin.
Thank you very much.
I have to say, I have to turn off my camera because of my connection.
All right, all right, we can move forward. So last but not least, we know that we will have our director and founder of African Rebirth say a few words to our graduate class, and then that will be the end of today's ceremony. It has been a great honor to be your moderator. For the first time, I've actually taken on something. Thank you very much for the experience, everybody. Congratulations once again. On to you, Enoch.
Thank you, Fosa. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Amani and the Relato, they want to say something before.
Hello. Am I audible enough? Hello.
Okay, we'll go first.
Yeah, we are hearing you. We are getting you.
Okay. Well, I actually thought Yasmin has represented the communication team. But anyway, I would also love to congratulate you guys. I won't be saying much because she had already said the congratulatory statement, and I'd only love to say that just go out there and be great leaders that you are, because I always say that you don't lead tomorrow. We are not the future leaders. We actually lead today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Therefore, let's go out, be great leaders, start with what you have whenever you are. And one other thing that I love is that if you think you are too small to make a difference, then try going to bed with a mosquito in a room. Then you do realize that no matter how tiny it is, the noise that it makes, you will never ever sleep. So my point is, you are never too small to make a difference. No matter how little it is, as long as it changes the community, it will change the country, and ultimately it will change Africa. And one other thing that I'd love to say, which is my last point as well, I would love to say that our forefathers they walked actually so that we can run. So now we should run so that our children can fly. That is me saying congratulations, guys, and I wish you all the best with all the future endeavors. Thank you and congratulations. It was so nice serving you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lintel. I'd like to convey a few words. Greetings from Tunisia and greetings to everyone, the cohort and our great ambassadors. And congratulations on completing your training. I'm very impressed, by the way, with your presentation. With your presentations, they testify to high quality of research and sharp awareness about your continent. So I have been coordinating the ambassador program for 3 months for the second cohort. I'm speaking about the second cohort. So today, I must say that I am very happy and proud to be working with this excellent team of ambassadors. It has been a tremendous pleasure and an honor to me to meet all the ambassadors, to work with them. And one of the main takeaways of my experience is that I learned a lot about the ambassadors' potential, their unmatched zeal for changing Africa, and their energy. So I highly commend you for your amazing work you have been doing, and I appreciate your commitments, your engagement with us. So I hereby thank everyone and congratulate you all for making it. I'm super proud of you all, and it has been an incredible experience, I must say. So, well, what I'm really sure about is that Africa is going to be more prosperous and greater with your contribution, because I see that young leaders are having an ardent passion for changing their continent. So very happy to be part of African Rebirth team and to be working with the amazing team of ambassadors. Equally, I send my heartfelt congratulations to the members of the cohort of the mentorship program. And thank you, everyone.
You're welcome, Amani, you're welcome.
Thank you. Wonderful. Where can I start from? You know, everyone has spoken great. Everyone has submitted everything well. But I want to say this, the best adventure anyone can ever make is to live in the direction of their dreams. And I have no doubt that you guys who have made effort to, you know, be in this program or to be even attracted to African Rebirth. I usually joke that African Rebirth is a magnet for prosperity. So anyone attracted to African Rebirth, you're automatically successful. You just to do a little bit of effort. So the business of African Rebirth is really about mindset change, mindset shift, mindset projection, the future, the now, and the tomorrow, the history, connecting the history together. And as you know that everyone who doesn't know their history, they are doomed indeed. So Africa must understand its own history to project the future. And there is no better person to understand the history and the future than the young people. It's young creed, it's young, bright people, smart people, passionate, dedicated for commitment. So mindset shift, it has been an ideological problem. And you see, even the colonization to conquer Africa, before you conquer people, you must conquer their mind. When you conquer their mind, you conquer everything. You can be very educated, you can be very wealthy, but a conquered mind is equal to a chicken mind. So if we want to transform Africa, our mind must be a greater mind of projection for the future. I like the quote that says that there is no gravity for dreamer. Indeed, there is no gravity for dreamer. Dreamers are not prone to gravity, the law of gravity. And as he said that the sky is not always the limit. If you had those saying that, oh, go ahead, the sky is not the limit. To a dreamer, the sky is the beginning. So this could be a beginning point of our lifetime, of our future, of our continent, projecting bigger things. How do you cultivate the mindset, the belief in yourself? I'm sure that all the lessons we learned, the interactions we had from different people, different backgrounds, it was working on our mindset. How do we shape the future? How do we see the future? And there is no doubt that a mindset shift will lead to greater heights, changes the way you see things, changes your narrative for better. And as you know, that a belief is what really moves a person, even at a personal level. Belief is so strong that an elephant would feel like a sheep in front of a lion. Do you know the size of an elephant? So huge. But when it reaches in front of a lion, it chickens out, it becomes a sheep. The lion is so small, so tiny compared to an elephant. But what makes a lion so strong like that? It's not because it's so intelligent. It's not because it's so powerful. It's the belief system. Because whenever a lion sees any other animal, it just sees lunch, you know, it just sees lunch to capture. So the belief system is so strong that if you're not ideologically strong, your belief system is strong. You might be an elephant behaving like a sheep. Why do I bring that story? I bring that story because Africa has a huge potential. Like it's a song, everyone plays that, everyone knows that. Even it has come out to be like a famous song. It has strong potential for our people, for our future, the resources, the capacity, the human resource. But why do we behave like sheep on the world stage? It means our belief system is not yet stronger. Take an example like a country like Israel. Israel is just a tiny country in the Middle East. But whenever Israel roars, even the strong superpowers respect it. Why? They have organized their belief system. It has shaped their destiny. How can a continent be full of resources, accumulation, potential for growth, but yet we are the poorest continent? When you Google now, or follow all the indices, they say Africa is the richest continent, but at the same time, it's the poorest continent. That is controversial. Do we ask ourselves the why? Why are we poor like this? Why are we not represented at the world stage? If we start asking those questions, the power of asking why, this will not only be a lesson or a training like any other training, because trust me, there are even people who deliver the best trainings than African Rebirth. We've just started 2 years ago. We don't even count ourselves so big. But if you change your belief system, it can move you miles you never know. Africa is an indispensable continent, ladies and gentlemen. We must stand tall. We must see further. And I believe that there is no better time in the history of humankind to live in this 21st century. We have resources in every at our disposal. You have a resource on your phone. You have a resource. You have connection. You build connections. Imagine the time of our grandmothers in something like 60s, 50s. You don't talk to someone who's not your neighbor besides your country. But right now, everyone in their homes, we are talking. I'm seeing your faces. So tell me the excuses we can give to leave the continent the same way. There is no excuse, because the excuses are the ones that we have underdeveloped Africa. There is a change sweeping across Africa. I don't know if you guys see it. You know, the change of coups. Those coups might look bad on the outface, but when you dig deep inside, there's a change. There's a wind of change sweeping across. My question is, where will the wind of change find you? Will it sweep you or sweep the wind of change? So that's how we should be very strategic. And this is just a mere training. It's a generational mission that we have to accomplish. And I strongly believe with every fiber of instinct and convictions that if we don't change the conditions prevailing now in Africa, history has no place to forgive us, because we have every opportunity, we have every resource, we have every instinct of fiber, of intellect, of resource, money, resource, human, everything we need to change. So we have every capacity to change, but we just have to work on our belief system. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a victim or a victor? Do you see yourself as a winner or a failed person? It starts from within. What image do you project out? Even at a personal level, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a change maker, or you see yourself as a problem added, statistics added to a problem? So these trainings are oriented to shape our mindset, to create an ecosystem of vibrance of young people that are projected to change a new phenomenon for Africa. And I can't wait. I strongly believe that, I repeat it, if we don't change the prevailing conditions Africa is going through, history has no place to forgive us. How would we tell our grandkids? At least the time of Kwame Nkrumah, they tried their way. So we must finish the game. And the game is over. If you're watching very well now, there's a sweeping wind of change transferring via Africa. So we are the big deal. As I say that, to dreamers, there is no gravity. And the sky is the starting point to thrive and thrive. So ladies and gentlemen, the best time to reckon the truth of Africa, the strength, the nobility, projecting the glory of Africa is now. And it's you and me. That's how we're going to conquer Africa. That's how we're going to conquer the world using our African resources. This is not just a mere cohort. It's a mission-oriented cohort. If you thought it's just coming and interacting, it's beyond connecting. We are on a mission, we are very strategic mission. So let's scan through, ask yourself questions why. So I thank you very much, and I want to really, really congratulate you for having made this time to learn, to challenge yourself, to meet new people, connect with people along the way. And I would like to end with some announcements about your certificates. Your certificates are ready. We'll be sending them to you. Second, to a public speaking competition. There's a competition tomorrow, so prepare finals, and everything will be very ready. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It was my absolute pleasure. I repeat, absolute pleasure to meet and interact, mingle, and have fun with people, with you guys. So thank you very much. Let's keep in touch, and God bless you, and God bless Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think this concludes the end of our graduation ceremony. And thank you everybody for being present today. I wish you all the best out there in every part of the country that you are in every field that you are in. I believe all that we have acquired, all the lessons and everything else will be fruitful and we'll be able to implement them. Have a safe one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you too.
Bye bye, everybody.
Thank
you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.